What's up, everybody out there in computer land? It's Aftermath on YouTube right here with Jimmy Corderas, Anthony Corelli, and Kevin Mickey. We've got our wins for this week in WWE. And Jimmy, let's get started with you. War Games was a really good show, and you had one really good thing in particular.
Yeah, it was hard to pick one thing, and the reason I picked Pat McAfee is this. Yes, it's one thing to come out and cut a great promo like he has been doing for the last several weeks and getting us invested in and interested in this match. And it's another thing to come out and actually perform some offensive maneuvers, which you can be taught. The one thing that's hard to learn in this industry is how to absorb someone else's offense, or i.e. sell. And Pat McAfee sold so well at War Games on the beatings that he took from the Undisputed Era. I just thought that it just feels like this guy is made for this industry. I thought he excelled. He over-delivered. He did so well. And then going on his satellite radio show the next day wearing a neck brace. Just win-win for me, Pat McAfee.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's the first time I heard the term, professional wrestling instincts, and I was like, yeah, I guess there has to be a certain level of instinctiveness. And I've had, 100 students, and some guys can just sell right off the bat. They just get it. They feel it. They live in the moment. They bring it to life, and some don't. And Pat McAfee is definitely someone that gets it and feels it and brings it to life. Selling is everything. It's everything in the business. It's the only thing that is going to make you suspend your disbelief. And I always give the analogy, if someone walking across the living room and they smash their toe on the coffee table, if they don't sell it, guess what? It wasn't that bad of a shot. It didn't hurt. But if they sell it like they broke their toe, that was a bad one. Both guys kicked the coffee table. The only difference was one guy sold it, and that's what tells you how severe and how serious what just took place is. So anyway, selling, A-OK, USA.
I've been really impressed by the feedback that Pat McAfee's gotten from everybody in and around the industry. I mean, Jimmy, Anthony, you guys, big fans of Pat McAfee. His in-ring instinctiveness has been spectacular, but then I was drawn to a tweet from actually CM Punk last week. It said a lot of it has to do with circumstance, but everyone else on the shows should feel embarrassment and subsequent said feeling to better themselves at the fact that Pat McAfee is a better promo than everyone else on the show. And Pat McAfee has demonstrated both in-ring awareness ability and awareness ability on the microphone as well. He's just been such a pleasant surprise all around. McAfee.
Well, that guy's job on satellite radio is to talk. So don't be surprised that the guy who gets paid to talk can talk well. Never be surprised about that. Also, shout out on the NXT War Games to Ciampa and Thatcher's match. You want to talk about registering offense? Holy cow. I think for one brief moment, one of them left the ring to break a hold, but that entire match took place in the actual ring. And imagine that, a wrestling match took place in the wrestling ring.
Wow, what a concept.
My win actually it's very weird to say this. It's not a positive thing, but it's a win for me that it looks like there's cracks in the armor of Retribution. It's a win for me that suddenly Retribution is interesting in that it might end. There are two members of Retribution. One member lost a match last week. Two members lost a tag team match this week. And Mustafa Ali, the leader of Retribution, is mad and keeps saying there's no failure in Retribution. Spoiler, there's been nothing but failure in Retribution. But he seems to be browbeating these people. And I don't know how long they're going to stand for this, especially if he decides to browbeat Mace and T-Bar. They're gigantic. So good luck to making them feel bad without them swatting you like a fly. It looks like Retribution's starting to fall apart a little bit, and that's good news because it means our long national nightmare might be over.
Yeah, and they have to be careful, though, because he can hack their computers.
And, this is true. Why did I say this?
Their lives.
Why did I say this?
I've seen a few wrestling matches that the pop at the end was because it was finally over. And so it happens. And I'm hoping that something good is going to come out of the
Yes.
crumbling, so to speak, and there's going to be a few superstars that remain afterwards. So let's see.
Should Retribution crumble under the weight of its own terribleness, then let's hope that at least Mustafa Ali moves on to bigger, better, and less Retribution-y things.
Well, yeah, I would love to categorize this as somewhat of a win, but at the same time, when you have a faction, I'm a huge fan of factions. When you have a faction that makes me crave for the days of the Mean Street Posse, that's not a good thing.
You can add Pete. You can add Pete Gas to Retribution, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Anthony, you've got a big win coming from last night's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, when you're given lemons, you make lemonade. And right now, there's no live audience. There is the Thunderdome. And they capitalized on that, and they did a really cool special effect at the end of the main event, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. And where the lights went out instantaneously, it transformed into the Fiend. And obviously, I started thinking of logistics and how they pulled it off. But the end result is it was cool. He transformed. The only bad thing is that people are going to want to see that again. And, when there's people allowed in the building again, that, yeah. I mean, you know what? Hey, they could pull it off. They're smart enough, all the special effects guys. Sorry, my cauliflower ear keeps rejecting my earpiece. But that was cool. It was cool. It's like a little bit of a movie type thing.
Yeah, the cinematic effects I like, and it adds something to the presentation. Hopefully, going forward, it doesn't go too over the top, but at the same time, I'm enjoying it. And just to let you know, wrestlers do get cauliflower ears, but referees get broccoli ears.
That spot was actually really effective, and I have somewhat evidence because I was in the Sportsnet newsroom on Monday night watching Raw, and as that spot was happening at the end of that match, someone was standing close by and had an eye on the TV that I was watching, and as it happened, and he said, "Oh my God, what just happened? What happened to Bray Wyatt? And who's this guy? The Fiend? Where did he come from?" So it worked. We got a pop from the audience. It was a grown-up. Yeah. This particular gentleman doesn't necessarily watch a lot of pro wrestling, but he got a pop from the audience that was watching.
Now that you mention it, we never really see Bray Wyatt and the Fiend in the same place at the same time.
It's Pokeroo.
Really? I missed him again.
Wow.
Kevin, your win is, I think, an instant win from this week of all of WWE television.
Pat Patterson tributes from Wednesday on NXT, Friday on SmackDown, Monday on Raw. They were spectacular every single time. And I think the biggest and best tribute of them all was definitely the musical montage that they cut to Pat Patterson singing. Spectacular work done by WWE to cut that musical tribute, and then also all the tributes pouring in on Twitter from talent, front office staff alike. Everyone, so many nice things to say about Pat Patterson, and it was truly extremely nice to see everybody echoing each other's sentiments to really underscore just what Pat Patterson meant to them personally and meant to the wrestling business as a whole. My win, the tributes to one Pat Patterson this week.
Yeah, I'm not going to say officially that the WWE's tributes are official, like recognitions of the quality of someone's character, but there is a trend, and every time someone who was really special passes away, the tributes are bigger than, and it stems from social media. And Pat is a perfect example. This tribute was one of the bigger tributes I've seen in a long time when someone passes away, and it's because the strength of his character and his positiveness and just who he was in general. And I'm happy that people are seeing that people care, because there's a reason people care. And there's a reason why the tributes are so good, because he was someone special. And there is a pattern of that,
Yeah, there's not much more I could add to that, AC. I mean, you've had the pleasure of working under Pat, and so have I, and he was responsible actually for my career. And just seeing how many people's lives that he touched in a positive way, it's incredible. And like you said, everybody's echoing the sentiment about not only what a positive influence he was to them, on a professional level, but on a personal level, he took personal pride in working with everybody and trying to help everybody. And the tributes this week were incredible. If you have a chance, not to plug someone else's social media, but if you have a chance to go to his stooge brother, Gerald Briscoe, and check out his tribute to his brother, Pat, check it out. It's awesome. And yeah, I can't add any more to that.
It was so great to see all the tweets from all the different superstars. I do want to end on a very, very funny note. Ric Flair's tweet about remembering Pat Patterson, and the last thing he remembered Pat saying to him was about his daughter Charlotte. And Pat turned to Rick and said, "She is so good in the ring. Are you sure she's your daughter?" It's the funniest thing in the world. And those are our wins for this week for WWE. What were yours, guys? Let us know on Twitter. Use the hashtag AskAftermath. Send us your wins, comments, recipes, and make sure to tag Jimmy Corderas in it because he needs something to do, honestly. But come on back. We've got all sorts of more stuff to talk about right here on Aftermath on YouTube.